Hey friends, it's Liz, your official craft nerd, and today I have got some ShabChic fall decor for you guys. So first project, I wanted to do these really adorable little wood painting, wood art pieces. I wanted to do some image transfers just using some printed pictures that I found on Google that were kind of like vintage fall feeling, and because I'm in that mood, I'm ready to transition out of summer and start getting ready for fall and Halloween and all that fun stuff. So this is what we're going to do today. I'm taking these little wood round pieces. These I found at Dollar Tree, so you can find them at Dollar Tree, Michael's, Hobby Lobby, wherever. And I put a couple coats of my Waverly chalk paint, I believe it was in plaster, on there. You can put whatever you want as your base coat, but I wanted to make sure I had a good base coat on my wood piece. Then I take this image that I printed off. I use an inkjet printer. I believe you can use both inkjet and laserjet, but inkjet for sure works just fine. And I'm putting a layer of my Mod Podge on there, not too thick, but just enough. And then I'm going to flip this image over and put it directly onto my wood piece. Now, word of advice, if you are going to print anything out that has words, or I guess really depending on how your picture is, you may want to reverse, well no, if you're using words, you will definitely need to reverse your picture or your image before you print it out. You can do this on your phone, on your computer, whatever, but you want to make sure you reverse that, because when you place this down directly face down onto this picture, when we start removing the backing, you want that image to look like it's going the right way. So you want to be able to read your words and everything. So definitely remember that when doing your pictures. I left these to dry for 24 hours. Then I went ahead and took a damp cloth, and I'm just gently getting the back of this nice and wet. Not too wet, but just enough. As you can see, the picture, the image is kind of coming through. You can see that it's been basically transferred to the wood piece. What I'm going to do after that is gently take my fingers and I'm just going to roll them around on the back of this, and it's going to start picking up all the excess paper. So this is the paper that was the back of the image. Like the image itself is now on the wood, but now we're removing this excess paper from the back. It's almost like magic to me trying to figure out how this works the way that it does, but it is so awesome how this comes out, and I'm kind of obsessed with doing these. I've been doing these I don't know, probably for the past year or so. I don't do them all that often, and I haven't really done them on my channel at all, but they are really fun when you do them. So as you can see, the image is just coming through. I mean, it looks so beautiful. Like, I'm obsessed with it. So I will say it does take some practice on how gentle or how much pressure to put when you are rubbing this off. If you get a little bit too crazy and get a little too rough with it, it will take the image right back off of that wood piece. So definitely, you're going to have to practice with it, I'm sure, and play around with it, but it's so much fun to do. And then you're going to see there may be like little fuzzy white areas, just kind of gently go back over those. Take your time with it. I do go and kind of sand down my edges, of course, to get the edges cleared up. But I will kind of wet it just a little bit more, just to, try to get off any excess of the little white fuzzies that I can. So I'm going to do the same thing for my second image as well. Just kind of damp it down, get it wet, and then I'm going to roll off the back paper. And I'm telling you, you guys, like, there's so many things you could do this with. Like, I was already thinking of, decor for like when Halloween starts coming around and Christmas, and you know, just the vintage things that we can come up with this. Oh my gosh, you guys, it's just amazing. So once those are done, I'm taking some Mod Podge and I'm going to seal it up. Now what's going to happen when it dries, it brings that color vibrancy back, and you really don't notice any like little extra fuzz or white or anything like that on there. And quite honestly, and if there is any little bit of texture and stuff left, I'm okay with that. You guys already know I'm a big texture person. Definitely like it when it's gritty and roughed up and old looking, and you know, you guys know. So as you can tell, I decided that leaving it white was not working for me. So I'm taking some of my antique wax and I'm just going to go ahead and go around the edges and even kind of go up onto the image a little bit and just dirty it up with that. And I'm just going to paint a quick coat on there and then wipe it down. And then I also go and do the backs as well, because I know sometimes I forget with these little pictures and things that I create to do my backs. And you know what, you guys, it's up to you if you want to do that. If you're keeping it for yourself, that's fine. If you sell your stuff or if you give it away, I just think it looks cleaner and nicer, obviously, if you make sure the whole project looks done. So I got to get better at that, you guys. But I really loved how these turned out once I darkened up the wood and, you know, kind of blended it all together better. And I do take my sanding block and kind of just rough off my edges and everything as well, just to, you know, bring a little bit of that white back into it. But it definitely looked really good when these were all said and done. And these are great for, you know, you can put them on tier trays, you can put them on little shelves, wherever. I just think they're so unique and so different. I love these things. And yes, they're small, but you could do this in a larger scale too. So there's really no limits, I don't think, with this. I mean, it's just wherever your imagination wants to take you when making something like this. Excuse my phone going off, being all rude. But this is it, guys. These are what the final two look like. I really like this idea. Tell me what you guys would do with these, how you would make image transfers or what you would use. I'm just curious. Okay, so this next project, I bought this little drawer set from Hobby Lobby like months and months ago, and I've yet to do anything with it, and it's been staring at me and driving me crazy. I have to. It is super adorable. Now, when I bought it, it was, I think I got it on half off, like whenever they had their half off wood products, because this sucker is like normally 20 bucks. I wouldn't pay 20 bucks for this. I'm sorry. So I got it for 10, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to use this. I really want to use this, but I want it finished. So I'm using this antique wax again because, you guys, this wood looked gorgeous with this wax. Like, just wait till I wipe this down. I was so impressed with, look at that wood grain, you guys. Oh my gosh. I mean, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm the weirdo that enjoys this stuff, but I love how that looks. And you know, I'm going to admit it too. I love how this wood smells. Does anybody else love the smell of like fresh cut wood? I mean, maybe again, maybe it's me just being really weird, but I don't know. It's just something about it. Like, I thoroughly enjoyed painting this, and you know, well, not painting it, but staining it, wiping it down, and just seeing that beautiful grain just pop through like that. Oh my gosh, it's almost euphoric, you guys. Like, I'm such a nerd, I'm telling you. I can't help it. But I wanted to make sure this whole thing was done. Now, this can be tedious because you can see this is, you know, this is like a shelving unit. So it's a little, it's got the little shelves on the inside, the little slats, everything. It takes some time to get it completely done, but I stained this entire thing. The only part of this that I did not get was like the very back inside, but you know what? I don't think anybody's going to notice that or pay attention to that. But I made sure that all the other pieces of this was done, from the drawers to the inside, underneath, backside, everything of these drawers, even the slats and everything on the inside of the unit itself. So it is definitely, again, like I say most times, it's a personal preference to you on what you want to do with this. Now, you don't need to stain it. If you want to leave it raw wood, completely your choice. If you want to like decoupage the front of it, or you know, you could paint it whatever colors. I mean, that's why I like these types of pre-made projects that Hobby Lobby sells, because really you can do whatever you want to do with it, and you don't have to stress about the hard part, you know, like the creating the object itself. You know, sometimes I just like something that I can just kind of decorate it and go, you know. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I really liked just being able to go and paint this and make it what I wanted it to be, you know. So as you could tell, that did have some handles, and one of the drawers was missing a handle. Now that handle, I actually snagged it and used it on my table that I just made, that if you guys just watched my last video, that's where that handle came from. So I had recently gone to Goodwill and bought this little bin of these wood, brand new wood pieces, obviously from a craft store, for like $5. I was really excited because there was a lot of awesome little things in that little bin, but it had these little knobs, and I was like, these are going to be perfect. So what I did was I flipped the drawers around, because the drawers already had the 2 little holes in it from the previous handle, and I'm like, no, well, we're not going to be using those 2 little holes. So I flipped them over, drilled a brand new hole in the back of the drawer, and just basically pressed in my my knob. I didn't have to glue it. I didn't have to do anything to it, screw it in or nothing, because the hole was the perfect size of the knob. So yay me. But I did stain it as well, and I didn't really go into detail of, you know, if it split the wood or anything in the back. I cleaned that up and put a little bit of wood filler if it left a little hole. So no worries, you guys. I wasn't going to bore you with all that stuff. This is the fun part. This I loved. I got these silk screen stencils. These I got from Plaid. Plaid sent these over to me. They are absolutely amazing. If you've never silk screen stenciled before, these are so fun and so easy to do. They also folk art. Now the silk screens are by Waverly, which of course is Plaid, but they also do folk art. Folk art also has this design cream paint, and it's meant to be used for these stencils. It is so simple. You take this little tool, it's just like a little squeegee tool, and you take a little bit of that paint and you just, like you saw me do, just wiped it down. Literally all you have to do once you're done, you don't have to wait for it to dry or anything, at least not that I've noticed, and just pull that up, and it leaves the most beautiful stencil piece. Like, there's something about these, and they're reusable. So it's like a sticker, it's adhesive, you know, you just place it down on there and you can reuse these over and over again. And the way that these go down and adhere to whatever you're putting it on, it makes it so much nicer that you don't have to worry about the excess bleeding or anything like that. Like, I love using stencils, and if you do it the right way, you don't really ever have to worry about if it's something that's going to bleed or not. But this just was so simple, and I feel like if you struggle sometimes maybe with stenciling or with bleeding or anything like that on your stencils, maybe try silkscreen. And I put them in my Amazon store. If you guys haven't seen it yet, I did add my Amazon store, y'all. My Amazon store is linked down in my description box. Instead of having to scroll through all the different links for products, you can just go to my store now and you can find all the stuff that I love to use. And I do have the design creams and the stencils that I used here today available in my store. I could not find the squeegee tools that I'm using, this little black squeegee tool. I could not find it on Amazon, but I will leave the link for plaid.com, and they do have them listed there, and it's like a bag of them, and they're pretty cheap. So, but this was what this looked like in the end. Look at how gorgeous those stencils are, you guys. I'm obsessed. And that's all I did with this. Simple as that. Okay, and so the last project today, this is fun. Like I said, we're doing more fall decor. Obviously, you can tell, the darker wood and things like that. Well, now I want to make some pumpkins, and you guys are probably going to see 1.5 million fabric pumpkins out there. Everybody's making them right now, but I really wanted to do my style with my aesthetic, and so the papers, y'all. The fabric that I was showing you, these are different fabrics that I have. I have cheesecloth, and then actually this fabric right now, this I got from Dollar Tree. This is a white fabric. They have it in their crafting section. They keep it around where they do their tie-dye. So it's just a plain white piece of fabric. I took my white fabric from Dollar Tree and the cheesecloth, and I coffee stained them. That's why they look dirty and grungy here, and I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Coffee staining is so much, oh my gosh, so much fun, especially with fabric. I'm taking these Tim Holtz stamps that are like French writing and just some of my archival ink, and I'm just stamping up my my fabric. Now, the whole thought of this is I'm just going to wrap up some stuffing in the middle. And of course, that wasn't enough. I need some more stuffing, y'all. So I'm just going to take my fabric, wrap up a ball of stuffing in the middle of this, and then I'm going to tie off the top. Now, you can do whatever you want for your stuffing. I actually had some stuffing this time. I've used paper towel in the past, a toilet paper, cotton balls, like whatever you want to shove in there. You want to put some socks in there, go for it, It's whatever you want to do, you guys. I am one of those that I use whatever I got on hand. So I actually had some stuffing this time, and I was like, okay, we're going to use stuffing. Now, the way that I tie the tops off is I actually use zip ties. Now, here I'm using this little black one. I do go back later and change it to a different size, zip tie. But for me, the zip tie was quick. It's easy, because I'm not going to sew anything, you guys, and I didn't have any rubber bands or anything like that, but definitely you could use that if you want. I mean, whatever. The zip ties too, I thought, in the end I can cut this up and reuse this stuff if I want, and the zip tie just makes it easier for me to do that. So this is just that cheesecloth that I stained up. Oh, and I love it, you guys. Look how just grungy dirty it looks. Like it's just wonderful to me. I don't know. I'm obsessed with this kind of stuff. I wish, like, I could literally coffee dye stuff like all day. I had so much fun with that. And I mean, and then it smelled like coffee, and it just made me happy. If anybody else loves coffee, leave that comment down below, like this video, whatever, do that whole thing, because I'm telling you, girl needs some coffee. And I definitely need it today, because it is too early for all this craziness I got going on. Once I got those two done, I pulled out this other fabric. Now I picked up this floral fabric. It's pretty old. I got it at a Goodwill, I think, like when I was out of town, and I just thought, yeah, this definitely, for a couple of bucks I got, like, I don't even know, like 4 yards of it. It was crazy. And but I could definitely tell it was old, and I said, yeah, we're gonna use this. We're gonna make a pumpkin out of this. So I'm doing the same concept with this. I'm going to stuff it, and I'm going to roll it up and zip tie the top, and it just makes this most adorable, cute little floral ShabChic funky pumpkin. And here I'm just kind of showing you some different fabrics. I didn't use them, but they were definitely that French country shabby chic whatever style if you want to use them. But again, I was kind of keeping with more of the fall dirtier tones. So once I made all my pumpkins, and I made about 5 of them, I decided I needed to create stems. Now I'm taking this ribbon that I got from Dollar Tree. It was like that 3-pack of like trimming, burlap trimming ribbon or whatever. And I am literally just going to, now I used a little bit of hot glue. I put it on the zip tie piece itself, and I use that to hold down my end of my ribbon. And I'm just literally wrapping this around that excess fabric at the top. Now, you don't have to do this. If you don't want to create a stem this way, you can definitely just leave it all floofy with the fabric on top. You know, maybe put like a twig in there or something. I mean, whatever you guys want to do. I just thought that this would, you know, make it look pretty realistic. And I don't know, it just worked with what I was going for. So I just wrapped it on up, and then I glued down the end. And then I had this like big funky looking you know, stem for my pumpkin, and it just works. Like, I don't know, I just think it's so adorable. So I did that for all of them, and then I knew that I needed to jazz it up a little bit. It was still a little bit too plain, so I just took some ribbon, kind of wrapped it around a couple of these. I had this really stretchy, beautiful lace ribbon, and all I did with that was just tied it into like a bow around the tops of my my pumpkins. And you guys, they just, those are my favorite. I don't know, they were so simple, but the look of them was perfect for me. I'm obsessed with them. With the other two that had like the little like kind of floral ribbon, I actually found these little orange flowers, and these were something I found at Dollar Tree like a year or so ago. Never used them until now. And I thought they worked perfect because it's that dirty, older looking orange color. I don't know how to explain it other than, I guess maybe vintage. Why do I always say dirty? Vintage floral orange. I don't know. You guys, whatever. These were my pumpkins. And I love them. I think I'm kind of obsessed with them. And they work for what I was going for. So, but that is it, you guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video. And if you're new here, I really hope you stick around and join my nerdy family. And if you're, of course, coming here like you normally do, thank you guys so much for coming back. I love you guys so much. Definitely, y'all, make sure you like the video. Let's get YouTube to promote my stuff a little bit more. I would definitely appreciate it. And yeah, you guys, so until next time, y'all stay safe.